Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saho Birjam Karuvamahai Tejasvina Vadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, good afternoon, students. Today we will learn one of the most innovative psychotherapy that integrates almost all psychotherapies, and that is the Rabindrik Psychotherapy. So students, do you have any idea about what is called psychotherapy? Can anybody tell what is psychotherapy?
Sir, may
Yes.
I try? Yeah.
Sure.
Psychotherapy is the therapeutic intervention to promote a client from a low stage to a better stage of mind.
Okay. Any other?
Sir,
Yes, Darsh.
psychotherapy is actually a treatment of mental disorder. That is by psychological, but that is by psychological rather than medical means. That is, if you are treating any mental or emotional disorder which is related to you, but by psychological means.
So what do you mean by psychological means?
So the
When
mental
we are
problems.
talking psychological means, so what do you mean by the psychological means?
So
For
those.
example, you are treating the patient with behavior therapy. Okay. So what do you mean by the behavior therapy? What is the basis of behavior therapy?
So the behavior.
Okay, please try. You have idea, a clear idea. So please you think about it.
So
When we are talking about the behavior therapy, so the behavior therapy is based upon
our behavior.
Yes.
Yes, the relationship with our behavior.
That is true.
That's those existing symptoms that would that we can see those symptoms, those causes of problem that we can see in the behavior of a person.
Okay. You try to think. That is.
No, you are asking, no, sir, what is behavior therapy?
Which experiments lead to think about the behavior therapy?
Sir, are you asking about the Pavlov's experiment or anything else like this?
Yeah. So when we are talking about the psychotherapy, and when we are talking about the psychological means, So psychological means basically the psychological postulates. Okay. In psychoanalysis, you have seen several postulates in psychoanalysis. Can anybody tell me the postulates of psychoanalysis? What do you mean by the postulates?
The postulates in Bengali means anuman, that is assumption, which is based on some theories or laws which is not yet proved, but it ought to be proved.
That is true. So the theories are based upon the postulates.
Yes, sir. So
So
postulates.
when we are talking about the postulates, for example, in case of the classical conditioning, what is the postulate? In case of behavior, in case of operant conditioning, what is the postulate? In case of psychoanalysis, what is the postulate? Postulate is the root of any sort of theory. Okay. And in the postulate, you will find several constructs, the concept. Okay. Similarly, Rabindrik psychotherapy is based upon several postulates. Okay. Rabindrik psychotherapy, that is conceptualized based upon the application of Rabindra Sangeet in clinical setting. Is it visible? I do not know. Not coming, no? It's not changing, no? Slide is changing.
No, sir.
You can wait, God. Okay, then I think we have to follow. Slide is not moving. Why? Oof. Okay, I am. Have you heard the name of Rabindranath Tagore?
Yes, sir. We have heard of.
Yes, sir.
Can anybody tell about any particular song or any particular poem or story or anything about Rabindranath Tagore?
Sir, I think all Bengalis can can say thousands on it, and we have amongst us Abhishek and Dash from other state. They can say better. And if you want, I can say many poems and many so-called stories of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore.
Okay.
उनका तो सबसे अच्छा लगा एकला चालो रे जो गीत है
Ekla Chalo Re. Wow, very good, very good.
अमार सोनार बंगाल
Amar Sonar Bangla. Very good. So what's
मुझे
the
बहुत
meaning
बढ़िया
of
लगा।
Ekla Chalo Re? Can anybody tell me what do you mean by the Ekla Chalo Re? What is the postulate of Ekla Chalo Re? What do you mean by Ekla Chalo Re?
Sir, may I try? Or Abhishek is going to try.
No, Abhishek will try. Abhishek will try.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Abhishek. Please you try. What do you mean by the Ekla Chalo Re? When we say akla chalo re, when?
यस सर, बिकॉज कुछ भी मीन्स अगर आपको जो सही लगता है तो कोई साथ दे या नहीं दे, लेकिन अगर हमें एक अकेला भी चलना पड़े तो हम उसको उस रात को छोड़ेंगे नहीं, हम अकेले भी चल जाएंगे उस पे, अगर कोई साथ दे रहा है या नहीं दे रहा है, अगर आपको लगता है कि वो सही है तो।
Very nice. Darsh, what is your idea?
So I don't know the meaning of this. Rather than this, I know that he was born in Kolkata, and one of his short story I know one of the short story that Rabindranath Tagore has written, The Broken Nest.
Okay, can you remember?
So this is all I can remember about him, that he was actually a Nobel Prize winner also in literature. This is all small amount of information I know about him.
When we talk about the Jano Gano Mono, I think everybody knows it.
Yeah, Janak, yes, sir. The national anthem. Yes.
Okay, so everybody knows.
Yes, sir.
So what do you mean by the Jano Gano Mono?
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of Jano Gano Mono? Can anybody tell?
So everybody knows.
What is that? Everybody knows, so you know. So you tell me.
If
You
there
know
is,
Jano Gano Mono.
if the person is Indian, it must, मतलब उसको जानना ही चाहिए सर, अगर नहीं जानता है तो जानना ही चाहिए सर कि भारतीय जनता के लिए ये जनगण मन कितना महत्वपूर्ण है, हमारा राष्ट्रीय गीत है सर, कि पूरी जनता को संबोधित करने के लिए जन गण मन, जनता, जन मीन्स लोग, गण मीन्स वहां के गणराज्य अलग जो रहते हैं.
What is the meaning? Jangan? Jano Gano Mono. What is the meaning?
भारत की जनता और उसके लोग और उनको जनगण मन अधिनायक, उनके लोगों के लिए करिए.
Okay. So Darsh, can you read the poem?
Sir, Rabindra Sangeet 1, Antoro Momo Bikoshit Koro.
Correct. Next.
Let my say Nietzsche.
Yes, Nietzsche.
Okay. Let my soul evolve, O dearest, residing in the core of my soul. Let it be dirtless, radiant, and beautiful. Let it be awakened, determined, and fearless. Let it be benevolent, ever diligent and resolute, united with all, free from all barriers. Pour thy peaceful rhythm in all its activities. Let my soul be firm and strong at your lotus feet. Let it be ever happy, enthralled, and joyful.
The
Next.
meaning is clear to you?
Yes, sir. This all meaning is just for that one line.
No. Actually, the song is there, and Professor Rituparna Basak Dasgupta Madam, she is the secretary of our academic council. So she translated the song.
Okay.
For your purposes. Okay, so that you people can easily understand. Okay. Now, Abhishek, please you read. Jodi to dak shune. Jodi tare nai chini kofi.
अंतरो मोमो विकसित करो, ये सर.
Next
अंतर मन को विकसित करो है ना जी सर.
हाँ.
अंतर मन को विकसित करो. Let my soul evolve, O dearest, residing in the core of my soul. Let it be dearless, radiant and beautiful.
Let it be
Let it-
dartless.
Let it be
Dartless.
awakened, determined and fearless. Let it be benevolent, vigilant and resolute. Unite it with all, free from all barriers. Pure the peaceful rhythm in all its activities. Let my soul be fair and strong at our lotus feet. Let it be ever happy, enthralled and joyful.
Correct. So
जोड़ी
meaning
तेरे
is
नहीं-
clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Whether meaning is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So can you
Yes.
tell me in Hindi? You and Darsh, can you help in Hindi? Let my soul evolve, O dearest,
Yes,
residing in the core of my soul. In Hindi में क्या होगा?
हिंदी में लेट्स माय सोल डियरेस्ट रिजाइन इन द कोर ऑफ मेरी अंतरात्मा के अंदर है ना
Yeah, you can say.
हाँ yes मेरी अंतरात्मा
माय सोल
बहुत अच्छा
इन्वॉल्व
है।
मतलब मेरी अंतरात्मा मैं से बोलता हूँ मतलब ये रिजाइन इन द कोर ऑफ माय सोल हाँ मतलब कोर ऑफ माय सोल को मतलब ये हो गया लेट इट बी डियरलेस एंड रेडिएंट
dartless. Let it be dartless.
डार्टलेस ओके जो कि ये अंधकार से मतलब उजाले की ओर है ना
Correct.
रेडिएंट एंड ब्यूटीफुल और बहुत ही सुंदर है लेट इट अवोक हम सब साथ में चले और बिना डरे है ना
बिना डरे और जागते हुए
डिटरमाइन पूरा एक निष्ठा के साथ है ना सर
हाँ जी फिर उसके बाद
निडर
लेट इट बी बेनेवोलेंट
फियरलेस में निडर होके सर बिना डरे के बजाय निडर होके आएगा सर लेट इज हम अपने जो भी आपसी भेदभाव सबको मिटा दे है ना
वाह
सब एक संगठित होके फ्रॉम ऑल
काइंडनेस से कामनेस से हम आगे बढ़े यूनाइटेड विद ऑल फ्री फ्रॉम मतलब हमारे अंदर कोई भी हर्डल्स कोई भी बैरियर्स ना हो कोई भी रुकावटें ना हो हम एकदम फ्रीडम की ओर चलें और हर एक्टिविटी में एक पीसफुल एक शांत सा माहौल हो और हम आपके कमल जैसे चरणों में स्ट्रॉन्ग पर हम अपना
चरण कमलों में सही है
चरण कमल में अपने अंतरात्मा रख दें और हम हमेशा के लिए बहुत ज्यादा खुश और जॉयफुल हो जाएं
वाह थैंक यू दाश थैंक यू अभिषेक वेरी गुड
थैंक यू वेरी मच
well done so this song will be very much applicable in which psychiatric disorder for the counseling purpose for the therapeutic purpose this song will be very much applicable for which psychiatric disorder which psychiatric disorder causes this type of feeling that is I am totally dart I am full of dart
schizophrenia
यस सर
think
डिप्रेस्ड पर्सन के लिए तो बहुत बढ़िया सर
depression
Yes,
is
sir. Depression.
very good.
Depression.
Sir, OCD.
OCD correct
OCD.
Priyanka you are correct in case of OCD right in case of OCD and in case of depression also in case of anxiety okay in case of anxiety in case of depression in case of OCD this particular song will be very much applicable okay is it clear Darsh or any question
यस सर
yes
सेम थिंग इसी तरह का सर वो गीता सार भी एक आता था सर क्यों
आप बताइए
क्यों व्यर्थ चिंता करते हो किससे व्यर्थ डरते हो कौन तुम्हें मार सकता है इस तरह का सर हमने मतलब रीड करने को दिया था जो थोड़ा डिप्रेस में उसको कुछ नहीं लगता है कि भाई अब क्या होगा मेरा थोड़ा सिमिलर है सर इस तरह से
so you find some similarity right
यस सर
okay
I also find sir, some similarity here, sir, with the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. If you have heard of that holy.
Correct. Guru
Yes.
Granth Sahib. Very
Yes, so
good.
there is written 2 lines. Nanak chinta mat karo, chinta tisli de, jal mein jant upayan, tina bhi roji de. This means that Guru Nanak is saying that don't take tension. All is within God. Even the aquatic animals, those animals that live underwater, they are also protected by the God.
Very good.
They are also given the food by the blessing
Really?
of God.
Correct.
Thank you.
So now if you follow the Western psychotherapy, then what will be the procedure? If there is any depression, OCD, then what will be their procedure? What will be the therapeutic procedure in case of the Western model? For example, in case of the behavior therapy, in case of the CBT, hello.
Yes.
For example, if the OCD is there, then we are following behavior therapy, okay?
Okay.
Darsh, can you remember?
Yes, sir. We have further, like we give dialectical behavior therapy, CBT, or art therapies are for certain therapies that we give to the patient.
Yeah. So what is important, that is in Tagore's song, we find the consciousness is unbounded. Okay. But in Western psychotherapeutic models, usually they are trying to manipulate our cognition in different ways. Okay. Why? To bind our consciousness. But in case of the Tagore's song, the assumption is consciousness is unbound. Okay? Is it clear?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So the first postulate in Rabindrik psychotherapy is consciousness is unbound. You cannot bind the consciousness because consciousness is just like the air. Consciousness is like your cloud. Is there any geographical boundary of cloud? No, right?
No.
Is there any geographical boundary of air? No.
No, sir.
Okay. So there is no boundary of consciousness. So this is a very, very challenging concept, very much challenging concept in Rabindrik psychotherapy. It is, I am not manipulating you. I am not using any reinforcement from external world. Reinforcement that will come from within. Okay. This is clear.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then there is another song. So now, Dash, please you read it. And try to translate in Hindi.
Okay, sir. Alokir e jo madharaye duye dao.
Wow, very good. Allocate means light.
Light.
A jharna dharai. Jharna means fountain. Dhuye dao means wash. Okay, or clean.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Cleanse every dirt with my cascading illumination. Cleanse all the dirt covering my inner hidden self with the radiant illumination. Gently awaken the real me, trapped in a lull within the self. My touching by touching its forehead with the golden wand of light this dawn, the morning breeze emerging from the core of the universe in search of light, lower my heart with that breeze of thine. Cleanse the poverty and gloom from every nook and cranny of my soul with the hymn of ecstasy overflowing the world. The immortal tune has fallen asleep in the strings of my heart. It has lost all its words, rhythm, and melody. Softly awaken it up with the tune of this ecstasy, the morning breeze emerging from the core of the universe and carrying the life force. Lower my heart with that breeze of thine.
Okay. So now हिंदी में बताइए.
Okay.
Priyanka, Urpita, Abhishek, you can support, you can help Darsh.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Sir, means मेरे अंदर की जो एक गंध है उसको मिटा दीजिए.
मन का शुद्धिकरण करना. हाँ, सही है.
शुद्धिकरण करना. देन जितना भी मेरे अंदर से मेरी अंदर आत्मा जितनी भी है उसको रेडिएंट मतलब प्रकाशित कर दीजिए. देन मैं जिस ट्रैप में हूँ अपने खुद में जो मैं उलझी हुई हूँ उससे मुझे उस ट्रैप से मुझे उस बंदिशों से मुझे आजाद करा दीजिए. कैसे आप मेरे मस्तक पर हाथ रखकर एक जादुई छड़ी चलाइए जिससे सुबह हो जाए और सुबह की एक ठंडी ठंडी हवा जो है जिसमें एक चमकती हुई सूरज की किरणें पड़े और मेरा जो
मेरा दिल है जो
वो भी जाग उठे. फिर पॉवर्टी और ग्लूम ये जो व्हाट वी से पॉवर्टी हिंदी
गरीबी और
मेरे अंतरात्मा की हर एक कोने कोने से वो पॉवर्टी और ग्लूम जो है वो मिटा दीजिए और एक इस बहते हुए जिंदगी एक बहते हुए यूनिवर्स में इस वर्ल्ड में मुझे ले जाइए. मेरे उन सोई हुई तरंगे जो है मेरे दिल की उन्हें जगा दीजिए और वो खोई हुए रिदम खोए हुए वो संगीत वो वापस ला दीजिए और फिर से मुझे उस जिंदगी की तरफ
चलने लगे. हाँ,
चाहिए जहां पर एक सुबह एक नई सुबह हो.
So now can you suggest me for which psychiatric disorder this poem is very much applicable?
कितना लॉन्ग किसका डिप्रेशन से बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म का
Depression, definitely depression.
वो तो है ही सर. के अलावा सर
first line cleans every dirt.
So is this schizophrenia?
No, schizophrenia. It is not schizophrenia. It is for OCD.
Sir, this is also OCD. Huh? Yes, sir.
OCD.
Okay.
OCD and depression is very common, particularly here. Okay. But there are some lines that is very much relevant for the schizophrenia also. So can you tell me which lines? Priyanka and Urpita? Which lines?
Yes, sir.
Last fifth line, the immortal tune has fallen asleep. जो सोई हुई तरंगे हैं दिल की वो जगा दीजिए.
Okay.
सर ये clean the poverty and gloom ये वाला सर I think.
brings the poverty and gloom from every nook and cranny of my soul with the hymn of ecstasy
Yes.
in the world.
My sources.
So this is the postulate. The first postulate is consciousness is free floating, just like cloud. Cloud is free floating, air is free floating, right? So consciousness is free floating. The second point, it is unbound. You cannot bind the consciousness. Third one, do not label, rather understand others' consciousness. What usually we do? Usually we classify the client by using some psychiatric nosology. Okay. We are telling that this client is suffering from depression, major depressive disorder, schizophrenia, so all those psychiatric disorders. But what happens actually? We are giving the label. Okay. And due to the label, the client is stigmatized in the society. Suppose you are suffering from fever, high fever. People will come to you. But one client is suffering from schizophrenia. Whether people will come to the patient? No. But if I say, no, I am not going to label. So label is important for psychiatric patient. For the psychiatrist, label is important because they are prescribing the medicine following the label. But we are psychologists. We are Rabindrik Psychotherapy specifically. Therefore, our approach will be to understand the consciousness. Consciousness is composed of 3 layers: Murto, Rag, and Saraswat. Okay. What do you mean by the Murto, Rag, and Saraswat? Okay, I am coming. Next, information flow occurs at 3 layers, causing different experiences in same object. Experience of consciousness is like a journey from incomplete to complete across the layers. And there are many postulates, but I am considering only this. So thoughts, please you read it.
Okay. Yes, sir. Consciousness is free floating case history principle. First, in Rabindrik Psychotherapy, collect the chief complaints of your client. Second, tell the client to describe each complaint. Third, write note on the description. Fourth, analyze it. Write the duration, intensity, possible causes and consequences. And last, do not make any judgment, no stigma, no psychiatric classification.
Okay.
Yes.
Priyanka, next.
Yes, sir. Consciousness has no boundary. Case history principle. Consciousness is free floating like cloud, air, rain, and ocean. It has surface and deep level. Consciousness has several elements floating on its levels. Don't impose any judgment. Next, don't relate to any psychiatric disorders. Next, allow your client to reveal him or her inner selves. Next, allow more space if your client is not able to speak. And lastly, study the conflict types and zone of conflict.
Is it clear or any question? It has
No.
surface and deep level.
Allow more space in your client is not able to speak.
Yes. Okay, because the client may want to suppress some information. Okay. Or client may feel very much inhibition to express themselves or to express him or her. Okay. Therefore, what is important? You give some space. Today is not possible. Okay, tomorrow you will. Or you take some water, after that you tell. So you give some space. And study the conflict types. What do you mean with these conflict types? There are 4 types of conflict, right? Can anybody tell me?
Yes, sir. Avoidance conflict,
Correct.
approach avoidance conflict,
Very good.
double approach double avoidance conflict,
Bah.
and double avoidance conflict.
Very nice. So these conflicts are very important. So you have to find out the conflicts. But in Rabindrik psychotherapy, conflict mainly in Murto, Rag and Sharasya. Okay.
Okay.
I'm coming gradually. Now, Urpita, please read it. Hello, Urpita, are you here?
Yes, sir, reading.
Hmm.
Non-leveling case history taking principle. Leveling is a form of categorization which can have profound effect on individuals. In psychiatric context, in which a form of categorization is utilized to discriminate and identify mental disorders, this could lead to stigma and other negative consequences. Levels may be coupled with stigmatizing beliefs and therefore inhibits help seeking.
Okay. This is a serious issue if we label. Now, Priyanka, please read it.
Yes, sir. The consciousness layers. Rag, the vividness.
Ragna, first Murta.
Acha, okay, sir. Murta, missing and anomalies.
What does it mean? That means if there is any deformity in your Murto layer, okay, or Murto layer is affected by some emotional factors, then the patient or then the client will tell you some information where you will find missing is there or anomalies is there. Okay, anomaly is there. Is it clear or any question?
No, sir. Please repeat once again.
If there is any deformity in your brain, okay, for example, in case of the EMAR children.
In case
So,
of?
EMAR children, mentally retarded children,
Yes, sir.
or children with mentally retarded or mentally challenged.
Yes.
Okay. So there is, or any brain impaired person. So if you ask the individual, and you will find that some information is missing. Okay. Again, you will find the anomaly, number 1. Number 2, if the rag layer is seriously affected, okay, then there is a high chance that murto layer will be affected. And if the murto layer is affected by the rag layer, then there is a high chance for missing and anomalies.
Okay, sir.
So this is the postulate. Okay. Now come to the rag layer. What is rag layer?
Rag, vividness, orderliness, and complexity.
Okay. So when we can tell anything very clearly, when we are associated with the object, when our emotion is linked with the object, okay, then we are following the high vividness, orderliness, and complexity. We can feel the complexity. Next is Saraswat layer.
Saraswat, harmony with environment, aesthetics, cleanliness.
So when your consciousness lies at the Saraswat layer, then you do not find any discrimination between you and the surroundings. Okay. The discrimination lies in case of the rag layer and in case of the murto layer. But in case of the Saraswat layer, there is no discrimination between you and its surroundings. Okay. It is the stage of peace, aesthetic, harmony. Okay. So this is the scoring system. You can score the murto layer, you can score the rag layer, you can score the Saraswat layer. So the scoring system is there. So here is one picture. Okay. This picture indicates what? Which psychiatric disorder? This picture? Gurpita?
Yes, sir.
This picture, there is one picture, right?
Yes, sir.
So this picture indicates which psychiatric disorder?
Sir, is it schizophrenia?
Yes, schizophrenia. How do you guess?
Yeah, sir. The man in a bowel, or you can say anything, means it is inside of coat.
Trapped.
Okay. So now you find that is the first layer, that is the murto layer or outer consciousness. Missing is there. What are the parts of the body missing?
The eyes, mouth,
Shoulders. Head. Neck.
And the anomalies? Anomalies means distorted.
Distorted, away from normal.
Have you noted any distortion?
Sir, eyes orbit are
Eyes.
not proper.
Yes, eyes are not clear.
Any other thing?
There's a mark on his
mouth.
body.
Okay.
No hands are seen over here. Something is surrounding this person.
Hand is down, sir.
Hmm. There are few marks. One is on the body, chest part, and the second is on the elbow side.
Good observation.
And sir,
Good observation.
abdominal wall is like emptiness is there.
Yeah. So if you find that is the vividness, drawing is not related to the real figure, right?
अपने में उलझा हुआ सर.
Drawing is not related to the real figure. The complexity, too much parts are connected with the figure. Only relevant parts are connected. So these are the scoring procedure. Okay, so when you are giving therapy, before that, you have to take some of the complaints. Okay, and you have to study your client, and then you can score it. Okay, so the scoring system is there. And based upon the score, you can tell, that is, whether the consciousness layers are properly developed, or there is any sort of impairment. So that is possible by using this scoring procedure. Okay. So this, here we will find the T-score range from less than 30 to more than 69. Okay. The three layers are there. Outer layer means Murto layer, inner means Rag layer, and inner core means Saraswat layer. Next, information flow. Priyanka.
Yes, sir. Information flow. Information flow occurs at three layers, causing different experiences in same object. Experience of consciousness is like a journey from incomplete to complete across three layers. Theory of insightful learning. Stage 1. There is food, Murta layer. Stage 2, it is unachievable, Rag layer. Stage 3, I own, I am winner, Saraswat layer.
Is it clear on any question? Same object is perceived differently because the locus of consciousness lies across the different layers. Okay. So when the consciousness lies at the Murta layer, then what is the possibility? Missing. Okay. We have already understood missing, anomalies. So your decision making will be seriously affected for the loss of information when your consciousness is at Murta layer. Okay. And when it is at Rag layer, then your consciousness is very much affected by your emotion. Then what comes? you feel that is, oh, I cannot take the banana, right? It is unachievable. So that is the rag layer. But when you give space, I have already told you, that is, give some space. So when you have given sufficient space for your decision, then there is a high chance to develop the insight. Okay. And when you achieved it, then you will be very much happy. So I am the winner. So that is the Saraswat layer. So in case of the Saraswat layer, the object is very much symbolized. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
can we say that it is the journey actually from outer self to inner self
Correct.
through these 3 layers?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Next. Dash, please.
Case study on consciousness. Question: what is this? The picture is given. So first answer, this is white object, which is a murta layer. Then is second answer, this is white beautiful flower. This is a rag layer. And the third is, this is light, which means it is Saraswat layer.
Can you find out the discrimination?
Yes, so with this example, now I came to know about the 3 layers. Right.
Is it clear, Urpita, Abhishek?
So we can say that the last Saraswat layer is that self-realization, self-actualization. That
That is
master
the
layer.
maybe self-actualization. It is basically the innovation. It is
The
basically the creativity.
The creativity of,
Innovation, all those things in specifically the creativity.
Mhm.
Therefore, it appears as the light. Okay.
Okay.
When it is in Murto layer, the individual is not able to relate the object with his or her emotion. Okay. But when the individual's consciousness lies at the rag layer, then the object is associated with the feeling. Object is associated with the emotion. Okay. And when the locus of consciousness lies at the Saraswat layer, then the object characteristics, attributes of the object, they are totally changed. Okay. And they develop some creative ideas. Is it clear? Oh, the picture is not coming. Okay, I will show you the picture. I think this picture is not coming here. I have given the picture. Okay, I do not know how I can give you. One sec, I have to stop. Okay, Dots. Hello, Dots. Can you draw?
Yes. So what to draw?
You draw one line. Okay, I'm drawing. One sec. Paint brush. So I am requesting all of you, please you open your notebook. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you follow me. Open your notebook and draw the line.
Done, sir.
One sec. One sec, I'm not getting. Is it visible to you?
No, sir.
Hello. The line is visible. Hello.
No,
No,
sir. We can see the screen, sir, but line is not available.
Okay.
We can't see
Okay.
the
I'm yes, yes. I understand. I am making a line. Okay.
Yes, now.
Which is not straight line, but it should be a straight line. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
And you draw another line. Why it's not coming, I do not know. So this is the plus sign. Okay. And this is the baseline. This is basically the 0. So this is basically the straight line. Have you drawn it?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay. So now, who can sing song? Any song? That's, you know?
No, sir. I don't know.
No, from Guru Granth. Can you recite any poem?
Okay, sir. Just a few lines.
Yes.
Yes, I can. Just give me 1 minute. So the prayer is like, sir, with the tuning, just telling you the lines, or I have to sing properly.
Sing properly.
Okay, sir. आनंद पे आवड पागियो ग्रह प्रगटे प्रभु आए जियो आनंद पे आवड पागियो ग्रह प्रगटे प्रभु आए जियो.
Next. Complete.
Achha, sir. Okay, I thought that just the first paragraph. Okay. I'll continue. Sagala ich meri punya mile niranjan rai jiyo मिले निरंजन राय जियो आनंद पया वड पागियो ग्रह प्रगटे प्रभु आए जियो. So I've completed.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is my baseline. Okay. This is 0 line. So my consciousness lies at this level. That is the expected line. Okay. And when you start the singing, then I feel better. Then what happens? My line is moving upward. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So the question is, when you are using the word geo, then you find my line is higher in comparison with the other lines. What does it mean?
सर ज्यादा भावुक हो गए.
ज्यादा भावुक हो गया. As a psychologist, as a psychotherapist, what is your thinking?
Sir, question, please repeat the question, sir.
Question is, Dash is presenting Guru Granth Sahib.
Yes, sir.
And my line is increasing gradually, but when Dash is saying geo, at that time it increases maximum. So the amplitude is very high in comparison with the other stage. What does it mean?
Sir, you are correlating that word with some of your feelings or anything else, sir?
Yes.
And
That is
it
true.
is boosting your spirit.
Correct. So what is important? That is, you can apply any music and you have to understand the distance from the baseline to the amplitude. Okay. Is it clear or any question?
जैसे इट्स म्यूजिक थेरेपी होगी सर एक तरह का.
Okay. So now you have understood. So what is the expected line? Expected line is this straight line. Okay, I cannot draw the straight line, but it is a straight line. You assume it is a straight line. So this is the x-axis, and this is y-axis. Y-axis means it is upward, so y plus, and this is minus y. Okay, and you think this is the baseline, so it is a 0. That means it is the stage of the equilibrium stage of the consciousness. And when the stimulus comes, I am aroused and I am following the song. Okay. And following the song, I am drawing my feeling, my subjective experience. So by analyzing this graph, you can identify my personality. How is it? Is it clear or any question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Sir, one thing I want to add here that in graphology, it is said that when we are in reality contact in the present moment, then our handwriting is generally straight. But when we become hyper or very much excited, very much happy, generally our handwriting goes upwards. And when we become depressed or less energetic, then handwriting go downwards. So I have connected this with your teaching, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I have no idea.
Okay, sir.
Because I have developed this model in Rabindrik Psychotherapy. I have applied the song of Shreya Ghoshal. That is Ekla Chalo Re. You can apply the same model for your own purpose to understand yourself. You can apply this model.
Motivation songs like
Any particular song, not necessarily Rabindra Sangeet. If you do not know Rabindra Sangeet, no problem.
एक सर हमारा मीन्स जैसे मेवाड़ से ना, तो हमारे वहाँ के युद्ध होता था कि वीर रस का कवि रहता था साथ में सर, वो जोश दिलाता था. ऐसा ही कुछ हो गया क्या सर?
Yes, then you can relate. Then you have to find out then you can select another song. Okay. And if you find there is some internal consistency among the different lines, then you can make some theory about the individual. Is it clear or any question?
सर ये डाउन साइड का क्या रहेगा -1 के लिए सर?
No, if I find that it is not meaningful to me, I cannot understand, okay, or I don't like this particular song, then automatically it becomes down.
Okay. मिस बोर हो रहा है, समझ नहीं रहा है.
Is it clear?
Yeah, sir.
So now you both can apply, no problem. You can apply. Okay. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. How is Rabindrik Psychotherapy?
It's magical, sir. I didn't know much about this therapy. It's really magical because I didn't know music can also heal this type of disorders. So you have told us about those some of the Rabindra Sangeet, that one and Antoro Bikoshit Karo. We have also meaning, but how these Sangeets are actually the therapies for those patients with OCD and depression.
That depends upon you in which way you will present.
Okay. That how we present to cure that disorder.
Yes. There is some, you have to understand all the postulates, okay? At least today, whatever your experience, that is in Murto layer. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Gradually it goes to your Rag layer. When you will reach at the Saraswat layer, then you can understand Rabindrik psychotherapy. Gradually it moves. It takes time. For that reason, I am relating Guru Granth Sahib. I like Guru Granth Sahib very much. And you will find many things are related to Guru Granth Sahib.
Yes.
If you study Tagore Song, you will find many things are related to Guru Granth Sahib.
Okay, sir.
Because they are the spiritual leaders. So all the spiritual leaders are same. They have perceived the environment from the spiritual perspective. Okay. Then I have developed the theory, that is the flow quotient. This flow quotient is important for intensity analysis. Is it visible to all of you, the flow quotient?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir, clear.
Flow quotient. Flow is the movement of consciousness wave that passes a point per unit time. So the flow quotient will be WO divided by WE into 100. Observed wave per second and expected wave per second.
Okay, sir. Frequency के type हो गया sir.
Okay, this is very important. You can do this type of analysis and then you can understand your patients or your clients' locus of consciousness and the turmoil in the locus of consciousness. Now there is another concept, that is the flow has 3 levels. Sorry, I am reading. Hey, Priyanka, please you read.
Yes, sir. Flow loads. Flow has 3 levels: the base, high, and low. 100 is the base level. In bracket, WO is equal to WE. Above 100 indicates high load. Within bracket, WO is more than WE, and below 100 indicates low load. That means WO is less than WE.
Okay. So you have to find out the flow load of your client.
Sir, flow load here, does it mean the speed?
No, it is not the speed. Speed is this one, flow quotient. Flow load is not the speed. Flow load means the extensity. Okay, the ecosystem of your consciousness.
Okay, sir.
सर एक्सेप्टेड में मींस कौन सा हो जाएगा सर? कौन किसके रेफरेंस में एक्सेप्टेड है?
Which one?
WE.
WE means expected.
हाँ, मींस हम जो एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं या फिर उसका पेशेंट का?
Not the accepted, expected.
अच्छा.
Just like chi-square, observed frequency and expected frequency. Next is the dots. Please read it. Flow quotient
Flow quotient and
is less than 100.
turbulence. Actually, it was overlapping. When flow quotient is less than 100, consciousness becomes non-turbulent or there is laminar flow.
Is it
But-
clear? Laminar flow, is it clear?
No, sir, you explained about this.
Laminar flow means there is no turbulence.
Oh,
Okay, for example, you have taken the bucket of water. Okay, and the water is at the resting phase. Then you will find there is no wave on the water. So that is the laminar flow. Okay, but
Okay, sir.
when you move the water, then what happens? There
when
will
it
be
is
the turbulence.
when there is more than 100, it becomes turbulent. Turbulence depends on the dynamic properties of external force, vis-a-vis music and the surface condition of consciousness.
Okay, this is very important when you apply the Rabindra Sangeet or any sort of music. Then you can identify, that is whether the patient has any turbulence or patient has the laminar flow. This is very, very important when you give the music therapy by using any lyrics.
Yes,
Or
sir.
any by using music also. You
Soft
will
song.
find the consciousness, there is high turbulence in the consciousness. Okay. So what is important? That is maintaining the laminar flow, non-turbulent. Why? When your consciousness is at the resting phase, non-turbulent, then you can make a better decision. But when your consciousness has high turbulence, then you cannot take better decision. Your reasoning is seriously affected. Okay.
Sir, when we will ask the patient to draw these lines, can we use the graph paper?
No, not necessary. You can use the graph paper for your research purpose, but during your sitting, clinical sitting, not necessary to use the graph paper. You can use graph paper for your research purpose.
Because sir, the scoring 100, it will be helpful.
Yeah,
to
definitely. That is true. For that reason, you can use the graph paper, no problem.
Okay, sir.
Because in our chamber, many people are coming, no? So I cannot use the always graph paper. I am following the pattern. So this is my suggestion, if possible. At least you sing one song regularly, one Rabindra Sangeet, in the early morning and at night before sleep. And you will find you will experience what is laminar flow.
So the prayer that you recite before the beginning of the class and the ending of the class, is this also Rabindrik Sangeet?
No, this is Upanishad song.
Okay, sir.
That is in Upanishad. Rabindra Sangit is that one. যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে। Orpita can sing. Orpita একটা গান গাই না?
Sir, I'm not a singer, sir. I am a dancer. I can't sing well, sir. সুরের অসুর, স্যার আমি।
Okay. So Orpita, now you read it.
Yes,
Flow
sir.
field.
Flow field. The area of consciousness affected by flow is flow field. Flow causes change across layers of consciousness. When flow occurs, it spreads from murto to rag and rag to saraswat layer.
So is it clear? Okay, you just imagine that there is a pond, okay, and very little wave is there due to the movement of fishes. Okay, and one boy has thrown one small pebble just on the middle of the pond. Then what will happen?
So many curves and waves will be formed.
मिक्स हो जाएगा सर, आपस में टकराएगा सर।
That means the flow field occurs. Okay, and if the boy again will throw another pebble, then what will happen?
सिमिलर मेंटेन करेगा सर।
So there will be the conflict. Okay, between the flows.
Yes, sir.
So one flow includes the contour. Contour means the boundary. And this boundary again will be attached with another boundary, another flow boundary. For example, when our Prime Minister declared that complete lockdown, can you remember?
Yes, sir.
That day, complete lockdown. Okay, so we have understood, okay, complete lockdown, ठीक है lockdown, एक दिन lockdown तो ठीक ही है. Then second day lockdown, then third day lockdown, then fourth, then fifth. Then we have had the corona. So what happens? Different flow fields are in conflict. Okay. Then we were very much anxious. Our anxiety level increases. So during the counseling, what will be your approach? What will be your thinking that which flow field is occurring within the consciousness of your client? Okay, and is there any chance of another flow field? And whether that flow field is positive or that flow field is negative. So you have to analyze all of them. So this is very important in case of Rabindrik psychotherapy. When the force is weak, flow field covers only Murto or Murto and Raga, not the Sarasya. Now you can find out the flow association. Dots, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is the association of the flows. Please read it.
Flow association. When flow associates with another flow, flow may or may not be dissolved. There will be three possibilities. Both flows can exist. It can be overlapped or it can engulf other.
Okay. This is very, very important. And there you will find in the picture, you will find the locus of consciousness. Can you see the locus of consciousness? Just at the middle.
The center of the curves.
Yes.
Circles.
Okay. And here you can find out the second consciousness. Okay. And that is close to the first consciousness locus. That means the locus of consciousness of the first flow field may be seriously affected by the second one. So you have to think about it.
So Gautam Buddha says like this, na?
Huh?
Gautam Buddha.
Gautam Buddha,
Hmm.
maybe, I have no idea.
Okay.
This is a very interesting thing. I have related this model with the principle of buoyant force given by Archimedes. Have you heard the name of Archimedes?
Yes, sir.
Has I heard of him?
Okay. Now you read it.
Submerged flow field. It would be misnomer to assume that force field is only above the base level. Mental imagery can be submerged. Submerged force can cause buoyancy.
So what do you mean by the buoyancy force? It is, you can find out the buoyant force. What do you mean by the buoyant force?
So it's the word buoyancy simply means to float in water.
So buoyant force is there, okay?
Reverse force है.
Reverse force.
उत्प्लावन बल हिंदी में.
Upward force.
हाँ, उत्प्लावन बल हिंदी में.
So this is the down and upward pressure. Now this is the very important part. Urpita, please read it.
Okay, sir. Force field analysis. By repeated singing, dancing, acting, playing music, or by painting, one can experience flow. Rabindrik art provides flow across different layers of consciousness. This is the path and goal-oriented value theories.
Please read, Urpita.
Flow in psychotherapy. Psychotherapy causes turbulence flow in consciousness. Structuring and restructuring occur across layers of consciousness, Murto, Raga, and Saraswat layers. Finally, equilibrium comes and layers are structured in different forms, resulting change in perception and motivation of the client. New structure gives feeling of well-being in physical, mental, social, and spiritual health. Hemispheric theory.
Clear? Next, Darsh, please read it.
Hemispheric theory, sir.
Yes, hemispheric theory.
Okay, so the left brain functions are reasoning, logic, analytical, objectivity, spoken language, written language, math, scientific skills, number skills, and right side of body control. Whereas right brain functions are left side of body control, 3D shapes, music, art, awareness, intuition, creativity, imagination, subjectivity, synthesizing, emotion, and face recognition.
Okay, so when you apply Rabindra Sangeet, then you will experience the synchronization of the left brain and the right brain functions. Can you give any example, Priyanka?
Sir, song.
দেখুন একটা রবীন্দ্র সঙ্গীত গাও।
মনোমন মেঘের সঙ্গী।
এটা ধরো না, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ।
স্যার সংকোচের বিহবলতায় নিজের অপমান।
ওটা ওরা বুঝবে না, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে এটা মানে বুঝবে।
স্যার এটা কি গাইতে হবে স্যার?
একটু গাও।
আপনিও গান সাথে একসাথে করুন, তাহলে ভালো হবে।
আচ্ছা, আমি গাইছি। যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে,
যদি তোর ডাক
শুনে কেউ না আসে,
তবে
একলা চলো রে। তারপর অভিষেক,
কেউ কথা না কয়।
I like this song too much.
Okay, you sing, then you can experience the beauty of left and right brain hemisphere function.
Yes, sir.
So in Hindi में क्या होगा यदि तो डाक सुने क्यों?
सर एक अमिताभ बच्चन ने भी इसी को गाया सर।
अरे आप बताइए हिंदी में क्या होगा?
जब कोई साथ
कहानी फिल्म था।
एकला चलो रे, एकला चलो, एकला चलो, एकला चलो रे, जब कोई साथ ना दे। सब धुन याद रही है सर। अमिताभ बच्चन ने गाया था हिंदी में इसको सर, इसलिए।
Okay, Dots, what is the meaning of this song?
So I really don't
In
know.
Hindi में?
In some of the advertisement we have heard this type of a song, but I don't know the meaning, sir.
सर हिंदी में तो सर इतना ही है सर, जब तुम्हारा कोई साथ ना दे तब भी तुम अकेले चलो।
Correct.
Yes, sir.
So is it clear now, Darsh, to you?
Yes, sir. I'll find it out more about this song, sir.
So do you find any logical reasoning here? In this particular line, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, do you find any logical reasoning? Is there any
sir.
logical reasoning?
Yes, sir.
Where?
Can I, sir?
Imagination, creativity, something.
No, sir.
No, I am talking about the logical reasoning.
Sir, every
Gurjita?
time,
Yes, Priyanka.
Can I
Please.
explain, sir?
What is the logical reasoning in this particular song?
सर इसमें मीन्स है कि कोई साथ दे रहा तब भी आपको ऐसा लगता है कि मतलब कोई बात नहीं चलेगा, तो वो आप अकेले भी चल सकते हैं सर। यूं तो लॉजिकली ये हो गया कि आप सही हैं, मतलब यू आर राइट।
sir,
But I want to add one thing. If no one is coming with you, then the logic is you have to go alone.
Yes, correct. Orpita is correct. So if then logic, that is just like a computer. When you write any computer programming, you have to think about the if then logic. And in particular this song, you will find the if then logic. Is it clear? That means
Yes,
your left brain function that is excited. Okay, and now you follow the song. যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, না আসে, না আসে. So why I say na?
sir, it is accepting this fact that no one is coming with me.
Correct. That means why we are giving much intensity. Na ashe tabe ekla chalo re. We are not taking the jodi tor dak shune keu na ashe tabe ekla chalo re. We are not telling this one. We are singing.
Because
So
it
correct. That means there is a synchronization. There is a synchronization between the music and the reasoning.
But sir,
Yes.
Actually, it is not based on the lyrics, sir. Actually, Tagore means this song is based on a Western means music.
That is
And
different issue. That is
Yeah,
different
sir.
issue.
That was da 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 da. It was framed like this, and Tagore, the lyrics of Tagore just put on this, and so it was in a high speech.
Okay, maybe. But this is my logic. That is, there should be a synchronization between the music and the reasoning. Then you can experience the left brain and the right brain function synthesis. Okay, please read it. Priyanka, you are doctor. You read.
yes, sir. Neuron. Neuron, also called neurons or nerves, are the fundamental units of the brain and nervous system. The cells responsible for receiving sensory input from the external world, for sending motor commands to our muscles, and for transforming and relaying the electrical signals at every step in between.
Then
Yes, sir. Neuron and synapse. The synapse is a junction between two nerve cells consisting of a minute gap, across which impulses pass by diffusion of a neurotransmitter.
okay. So my neurotransmitter says that no one is with you. So it is better not to move. Okay. So that is my neurotransmitter. Then what happens? I am feeling I am not okay. I am not capable enough. And prolonged feeling about my incapability can develop depression, can develop low self-esteem. But when you apply the Tegosam, then you will find energy. You will find to move alone, to move forward. What Netaji Subhash Chandra did. Okay. That means the neurotransmitters. So you are changing in the neurotransmitters. You are changing the movement of neurotransmitters by using Rabindra Sangeet. You are not giving any medicine. Here the medicine is itself Rabindra Sangeet.
So that means the music here acts like the dynamic stimulus.
Yes, music has that property.
संगीत जैसे भी सब प्रकृति से मिला है ना, सब नेचर से, बाय नेचर.
Okay, now next. So this is the neurotransmitter theory. Now please read it. Thus, please read it.
A simple neural network. A neural network is a network or circuit of biological neurons, or in a modern sense, an artificial neural network composed of artificial neurons or nodes. First, thus, a neural network is either a biological neural network made up of biological neurons or an artificial neural network used for solving artificial intelligence problems. The connections of the biological neuron are modeled in artificial neural networks as weights between nodes. A positive weight reflects an excitatory connection, while negative values mean inhibitory connections. All inputs are modified by a weight and summed. Thus, activity is referred to as a linear combination.
So here you will find the input layer, that is the Murta layer. Okay. The hidden layer, that is your Rag layer. And Rag layer is finally, you will get the major component of the total object attributes. That is your Saraswat layer. Next. Please read it. Please read.
Yes, man has power to customize environment for change in consciousness layers.
Okay. So now this is the case. Read it.
Response control of OCD. A woman of 52 years old came to me with complaint of OCD to dirt. Patient reported her inability to control the washing compulsion. For last 30 years, she regularly went to toilet for washing and cleaning hands. She always closed her hands tightly so that her hands would be completely cleaned. Before visit to me, she was treated by many psychiatrists and one psychologist. No notable changes are noticed except long time sleep.
Now observation.
Observation. Client was guided by stigma initially. Client could not develop insight to control the unaccepted response. In Rabindrik Psychotherapy, client was not guided by any psychiatric classification. In therapy, by therapeutic customization, client suddenly develops insight about response control. Next, client herself explored for other songs for controlling her response. To sum up, we can say Rabindrik psychotherapy is self-awakening process where an individual can give auto-suggestion for response management. Tagore's songs creates flow in client's consciousness that helps client crossing the boundary of Mutta and Raglir. So is it true?
Yes, I have treated the patient.
Oh my God.
Now next.
The therapy. Stage 1. Case history and observation reveals location of flow, moves around Murta and Raglir. Object is perceived as very threatening. Second, singing and dancing with song. Ananda Loke, composed by Rabindranath Tagore. Client opened the clasped hands and danced with the therapist. Stage 3. Finally, the client sat without clasped hand, development of insight about regulating hand clasping behavior. And the last stage 4, patient reported that she alone practiced 2 songs, Iktuku Chona Lage, feeling light touch, and Ito Dinje Basichino, waiting for long days at home. Finally, she sang with me both songs along with Ananda Loke danced, and she never closed her hands. Termination, client becomes efficacious in regulating own behavior by
Rabindra Shanti.
Rabindra Santi.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
how is it?
So it's very mesmerizing, very nice, very shocking. She has been, otherwise, she actually came from she has been already treated from many psychologists and psychiatrists, but no effect was seen. Wow. Finally, by
And
Rabindra.
you just follow the clasping hands.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next one. Priyanka.
Yes, sir. Complaints. Overlearning, poor academic performance, apprehension of danger, and temper tantrums. Analysis of client. Layer dynamics, outer layer, perceiving the book. Inner layer, book is perceived as source of completeness. Inner core, feeling of completeness. Reason for overlearning, he tends to be complete being. Problem lies on overstudy due to extrinsic reading motivation. Target of change, study for intrinsic motivation. Case history, he can play tabla and can sing Ravindra Sangeet. It is practiced in family.
Next.
Session, requesting him to sing any song of Tagore. He selected Jodi Tare Nai Chini Go, সে কি আমায় নেবে চিনে এই নব ফাল্গুনের দিনে জানি নে. I asked if your book asked you the same, what would be your answer? He, জানি নে, I do not know. After brooding, he said that from today I would study the lesson to understand it. Termination, client is able to understand how to be
Complete. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this patient came with the complaints of breaking the almirah, breaking TV, okay, beating the parents. Can you imagine? And I asked him,
Yes, sir.
that is during your leisure time, what are you doing? And he has said, Rabindra Sangit, I am singing Rabindra Sangit. Then I am surprised. The patient is telling I am singing Rabindra Sangit, and patient is breaking Almira, breaking TV, all those things and beating. How is it possible? Then I asked him, so can you sing any particular song, any song of Rabindra Sangit? Can you sing any Rabindra Sangit? Then he selected this particular song.
Sir, his age, his age.
Class 7.
Okay, sir.
So maybe 12 or 13, 14, like that.
Yes, sir.
Because his problem, that is, he's not able to get good marks in the examination, though he is studying regularly. Studying means he is reading the books, but he is not writing anything. Just reading. The interesting point is, when he says that from today, I would study the lesson to understand it. And then he started writing, and he secured very high marks in the examination. And the total time for this therapy is less than 30 minutes. Okay. So this is all about our Rabindrik Psychotherapy. I gave this lecture in Dubai. I gave this lecture in Pakistan, gave lecture in China, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh.
So when you went to China?
So at this moment, I cannot remember. I have to see my biodata again.
Okay.
Maybe in 2000, maybe at this moment, I cannot tell you. If you go to check my biodata, there you will find that is.
But it's good you have gone over there before Corona.
Yeah, definitely before Corona.
Yes.
I gave lecture in Shanghai University. It's a very prestigious university. In Shanghai University, I gave lecture there. I gave lecture in Yokohama, Japan, on Rabindrik Psychotherapy. So what is important, that is, these people have no idea about Rabindranath Tagore, number one. They do not have any idea about Bengali culture, language. So nothing is there. But they could follow the postulate of Rabindrik Psychotherapy. And they could relate how the postulates can provide inner support to the client to overcome his or her problem. The interesting point is, following the Rabindrik psychotherapy, the client himself or herself set own goal, okay, to regulate own self. I have treated patient, one obsessive compulsive disorder patient, who usually stayed inside the toilet for 18 years and 18 hours, for 18 hours. Okay, and by using Rabindra Sangit, he could control, he could prevent her response to washing, and that will be 1 hour. Can you imagine? From 18 hours to 1 hour. So, in short, Rabindrik psychotherapy is a brief therapy, because in my session, I have seen that is less than 30 minutes. Patient was able to set his own goal. That is the number one. Number two, Rabindrik psychotherapy provides real-time therapy. So when you want the therapy, when you want the support, you can get the support from Rabindra Sangit. For example, the obsessive compulsive disorder patient who stayed, who spent this 18 hours within the toilet. Okay. He sang only one song, that is Alokeri Jharna Dharai Dhuiye Dao. Abhishek, you have read this particular song before, okay? And there is another important part is Rabindrik psychotherapy provides the synchronization between your left hemispheric function and the right hemisphere function of the brain. So when you sing the song, then your approach will be to synchronize the lyrics with the music, or the words with the music. There will be the synchronization of language and the music. Another interesting thing is that you can assess the personality pattern, the temperament pattern, the conflict pattern by using the Rabindra Sangit. Okay. So if you do not know Rabindra Sangit, you can apply other song. But before application, it is important to examine the graphical distribution of your music on the locus of consciousness of your patient or the client. This is very, very important. In Rabindrik Psychotherapy, you always think about the location of the consciousness locus. You must be very much careful about the flow field. You must be very much careful about the flow load and the flow quotient. So in Rabindrik Psychotherapy, you always think that the consciousness has no boundary, and do not label, do not make any judgment. You observe the locus of consciousness of your client as a detached self. You can experience yourself also by using the detachment. Okay. This is all about the Rabindrik psychotherapy. But again, there are many other theories. For example, the value theories are there, control theories are there, flow theories I have already discussed with you. In mental health counseling, Rabindrik psychotherapy is very, very useful because Rabindrik psychotherapy provides the real-time therapy. Okay. It is not necessary to repeatedly contact the psychotherapist because Rabindra Sangeet itself has some psychotherapeutic values. It has some attributes. It has a lot of the positive weightage. Maybe the songs were composed by some other songs, maybe, but in psychotherapy, you do not think about that one. It is not necessary to understand the history of that particular Rabindra Sangeet. It is important to understand how this Rabindra Sangeet acts on the consciousness and how this Rabindra Sangeet creates the movement of the locus of consciousness across the three layers, Murta, Rag and Saraswat. Okay. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting.
So please you study some of the Rabindra Sangeet, and thus you will find many Rabindra Sangeet. You will find some similarity with Guru Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak's
Yes, I definitely see.
observation, because they are the spiritual leaders. No? The two things are very important. In case of the Rabindra Sangeet, Rabindranath Tagore, he related his ideas, his conception, whatever the things are there, with the nature, okay, with the raindrops, with the cloud, with the water wave with the waves in the pond. And therefore, Tagore realized the dynamic properties of the consciousness, what other people do not find. But Tagore realized the dynamic properties of the consciousness. And Tagore, for that reason, allowed maximum freedom to think. Tagore never controlled your thoughts. Because in Rabindrik Psychotherapy, we are not controlling your thoughts. You will control your own thoughts. I will not control your thoughts. So what is the function of psychotherapies? Rabindrik Psychotherapy's function is to customize the environment, is to control the flow field, or is to stimulate the flow field, so that the client or the patient will be able to find his or her own goal to regulate his or her own self. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So consciousness is just like ocean. It is just like air. It is a cloud. It is a rain. You think about it. Consciousness is not the iceberg. Consciousness is not the ice. It is not the concrete object. It is totally liquid and full of waves, full of dynamic properties. Okay. So may I close now? Or anything
Yes,
to be
sir.
discussed? Okay. So please close your hands. Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, Dars,
Yes, sir.
to translate some Rabindra Sangeet in Hindi
Okay, sir. I will
and
definitely-
in Punjabi language. You know Punjabi?
yes, sir.
Yes. So please, I have many students in Punjab, in Chandigarh.
Okay, sir. I'll definitely do that.
Okay, translate into Punjabi language.
Okay, sir.
So Abhishek, thank you for translating Rabindra Sangeet into Hindi. Thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Arpita. Thank you, Priyanka.
Shubhratri.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Shubharatri.
Good night, sir.